Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin, big up the CoinsKid crew. So with the Bitcoin chart here, and most of the charts that I use on a day-to-day basis, I always say to you, use the EMAs, okay, because they're leading indicators, not lagging indicators. So the EMAs are boss. They kind of give the game away sometimes that you're overextended, or you're in an uptrend because you're holding support constantly, and they're really good points of resistance and support as well. That I always say to you on any time frame. If you're above the yellow line, which is the 20 EMA, you're in a whopping uptrend, and if you're below it, you're in a downtrend, obviously, and into resistance. Now, one thing you can say here, this is a weekly time frame, that you've not back tested the weekly EMA, the 20 EMA, since way back there in March, where you got rejected, and then we've had that big roll. So in my opinion, like I said to you when you were coming down, you really overextended, too much greed in the trend of the direction, and it happens on the way up and it happens on the way down. At this point, you've got to slow down, and that's exactly what we've done. We're slowing down right now, okay? So this bottom here, with the overextension, the gaps in the EMAs as well, which I over-identify EMA overextension, basically, when you're getting large gaps between the red line, which you can't quite see at the moment. I'll get rid of that red line for you. When you're getting a large gap between the red line and the yellow line, it always indicates overextension in any trend direction. You was getting it just here. Please refer back to the videos. I said you really overextended at this point, okay? You've got to come in for a correction, okay? And at that point you did. You've created a bearish divergence here with a whopping rising wedge, basically. So at this point here, you've put in this massive correction. Now, is this correction over? Possibly. Or possibly not. Like I said to you, if you was to lose this low, it's a very monumental low right now that a lot of data points are telling us that it's the same low that this was in that big monster bear market there for Bitcoin. And again, like I've always said to you, if you're holding these EMAs, fantastic, but as soon as you start to fall through them, you're looking at a larger correction, and that's exactly what happened there. Look at the big gap there, and if you go back to this gap here, that when we was up here doing this, I said to you, like, I had so many trolley comments on the videos at that time saying I don't know what I'm talking about. I said to you at the time, the gap's too big, you've got to come in, and you did come in. I said if you start to close below the 20, you're coming down to the 55, and that's exactly what happened. It's really simple, okay? So again, you've got overextension just there. What happened? Came in. Overextension just there, came in, basically, okay? So at this point here, anticipating a large correction, holding support and coming back up and breaking the high and continuing. But you can see right now, this was the top, and right now you've got this massive correction that Bitcoin's going through, and in my opinion, this is an A, this is a B, and this is a C, okay? A little bit of confluence of that obviously is a CBBI indicator. Let's take a look at that right now, okay? So with the CBBI indicator, you can see here we never got really overbought like we did in previous cycles where we went to 100. Really good area to take profit on any trades that you're doing, or spot holding, whatever. But you can see we never got overextended here. And it might, our man's up. I was looking for a correction, then I was looking for a retracement and breaking a high and coming up and breaking that high, and coming up here to 100 in a blow off top scenario of the bull run, which we always do in every single cycle. Look, blow off top, and you've got the CBBI that sort of matches that as well. But you can see here with the confidence of the fact that this isn't a regular high, in my opinion. The confluence is the lower high we've seen on a lot of the altcoins that put in the lower high right now. But what we've done here is confluence is, we've got this divergence where we've got this A leg, this B leg, lower high in the CBBI, yet a high in the price action, never got overheated there either, and then boom, we've had that rug pull C leg right now, which we're currently, I think, in a C leg of a massive ABC correction, okay, that's potentially completed. If not, you potentially got one leg left that where you have to recover quickly, because if you don't, it's a massive precursor and a big warning shot that you are in this multi-year bear market, okay, and you've got a huge correction on your hands here, and just a real low base level of accumulation down near the 3k, which I've shown you, okay, in a previous update right there. So it's either done or it's got one less leg left. That's what I'm trying to say to you, and the last leg has to recover quite swiftly, in my opinion, if there is a big massive flash crash here for Bitcoin. But it's doing everything it needs to say that it's complete. If we look here, we have got another divergence here, because we've got the low that we put in just there around about 6, and currently we're making a higher low, and we currently come down and made a lower low in the CBBI there as well. We've actually come all the way down to 5. So if you look at this low, this went to 0. Look at that went to 0. The next low went to 3, and this low potentially, if it is in, has gone all the way down to 5. Okay, again, just looking at this chart, you could say I'm going to buy down here, I'm going to sell up here, basically, and that's a really simple long-term view on it, isn't it? So that's the CBBI indicator. I'll drop a link into it in today's video, okay? So let's take a look at the charts. So using the EMAs is boss. Get them in your charts because they work on any time frame. If you're above the 20 on the the yellow line on any time frame, you're in an uptrend on that time frame. If you start to close below that, you're looking at a 55 retest, and that's how it works. Okay, and if you start to lose the 55, you're entering a downtrend on that time frame coming down to a base level support, you know, hold that support and start to break back up. You need to be above the EMAs to be an uptrend. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Consistently holding them. Look, you're breaking out, falling back, breaking out, falling back. As soon as you lose them, you've got a big correction on your hands. Coming up, holding, lose them, got a big correction on your hands. It happens every time, okay? And the more you zoom out, the more you see it. So one thing that's concerning, like I've said to you at the moment, on the monthly time frame, we are currently below the 55. This is something that Bitcoin's never done other than a couple of times being below the 55. And, you know, this is a major warning sign right now that if we do consistently stay down here, and we've got the 55 coming down, you know, we're being squeezed basically between resistance and support down here on the monthly time frame. But if we do consistently stay down here, you can see how this could be a major sort of level of resistance pushing us down for a very long time. It could be a big warning sign if we consistently stay below the 55 on the monthly. Okay, so we do need to see ourselves get back above and start closing above these levels of resistance to confirm that this is the bottom and start to come up and break out and get back above the key EMA, which is the yellow line, the 20. Because look at the impulsive moves that can come once you sort of break out and hold above that level of resistance right there. So how do you get an EMA into your charts? Well, there is a tutorial that I've done here for everybody. The link is in each and every single video description, but I'll just show you quickly. What you do, you go to the indicators at the top, you type in EMA, and it's the first one, moving average exponential. The leading indicators as well, not like the moving averages, which are lagging indicators. These EMAs are leading indicators. That's why the boss. Tick that little tick just there, come down. I didn't even drop it in, I do apologize. EMA, and then you click on it, drop it into your charts like that, go down to the bottom, click the cog. You know, inputs for me, 20 is absolute boss. A lot of people use 21, but I think the 20, because the 21's a Fibonacci number, I tend to use a 20 because I don't see a lot of people using that, and I try to sort of get a little bit more of an edge than everyone else. Be a bit different, think outside the box basically. So the 20, and then the style for me is yellow, and that's it. You know, that's a 20, and then there's a, you know, if you want to drop a 55 or 50, a lot of people use that, then drop it in as well. You know, a lot of people use the 8 and the 3 and things like that, but I tend to use 3. Don't over complicate your charts with too many indicators, because it just gets really messy. Okay, it's simple. You know, for me, I use the 10, the 20, and the 55. Job done. So anyway, I cancel that. That's how to get the EMAs into your charts. And you can see right now, like I said to you, when you've got really overextended here, got the big gap in the EMAs, they're telling you you're going to slow down and you're going to have a retest of resistance. And that's exactly what we're getting right now. You can see we've got the the 10, which is a blue line. That's acting as key resistance. So at the moment, what's happening, you've got the 10 forcing you down, pushing you down to this support. So you're going to get some kind of squeeze here. If you hold this and break the 10, that's quite a bullish scenario, because your next level of resistance is simply the yellow line, which is a 20 EMA. So you can immediately say that if you start to come up and you break that 10 EMA, which is currently sitting at 21962, then your next key level resistance, which is a good area to take profit on the long or open a short with a really tight stop loss, is 25509. Okay, and it's that simple. You know, you work your way back up through the EMAs and you work your way down through the EMAs, and they give a projection of which, you know, the trend direction basically. So like I've always said to you, overextension leads to retracement. Overextended here on the EMAs. The EMAs are going vertical, just the opposite of this. When you're going vertical and you've got that big gaps there, you tend to slow down and pull in like a magnet back to the EMAs. Okay, so if we take a look at the hourly time frame for Bitcoin right now. Sorry, I meant the 4 hour, not the hourly. The 4 hourly time frame. You can see that your key resistance on the EMAs that you're struggling to get back above every time you come into it, you're getting rejected, is the 4 hour. So a very bullish statement from Bitcoin here that you're putting in some kind of big impulsive move or retracement to that high would be if you start to see a close above the 4 hour 55. You can see that's your resistance point at the moment. But what's happening here is some kind of squeeze. Okay, you're putting this correction coming down to this low at the moment. Okay, and this low, and currently it is still a higher low. So if Bitcoin holds this and gets to squeeze and starts to come up, it's bullish, because you're creating bottom structure right there. Okay, and obviously if you start to get squeezed out of there, you're gonna have another impulsive move down and potentially some kind of correction. This is just a continuation of the trend, but you know, this slowdown that Bitcoin's going through is actually quite nice, because what's happening is you're creating a high level of support just there. Okay, and you're getting the 55 coming down on you, pretty much similar to what we did here. Look at this high level of support like this, and we're coming up, but we're running to resistance. The last time we met that resistance, we rolled, lost this support line, and we're putting another impulsive move to the downside, and that's measurable. Okay, so if you drop the high to the low, you can see that what you did, you come all the way down to 2 fib just there. So there's a possibility that this is 5 waves down. Let me show you, because like I said to you, the trend moves in 5 waves. So there's a possibility that this is some kind of 1, this is a 2, this is a large 3. Look at the big impulsive push. Okay, then you've got a correction back up, and then you've got a final 5th wave. So right now you're coiling up looking for a continuation or a retracement back up to this high. You know, and personally I'm a little bit more biased to the fact that I think you know, down here we might get some kind of short squeeze, not because I'm some kind of permeable or whatever. It's because you've got these EMAs that are tightening up. Do you see that? You've got the EMAs tightening up, and what's happening is you're holding a high level of support just here, okay, and you've got the EMAs coming down. So there's some kind of a volatility break here. Like I said to you, compression leads to expansion. You run into resistance support, resistance support, resistance support, and right now you're coiling up. There's something that's going to happen here, whether or not you break to the upside or you lose support and you come down. And like I said to you, if this yellow line here is lost, that's a really, really bearish statement from Bitcoin, because it's one of the key signals right now, that you know, the Magnificent Seven. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, personally, looking at charts, I think you're overextended. Like I said to you on the weekly EMAs, I think that you're looking for some kind of break here coming back up. Now, if this does start to break, okay, and we start to see a close above a 55 EMA and the 4-hourly time frame, we get some kind of compression down here, some kind of volatility squeeze. Like I said to you, compression leads to expansion. I would anticipate, to be honest with you, I'm going to look at the daily. Look at the overextension on the EMAs there. Look at the big gap between the 55 and the 20. So you've come down that massive impulsive push, retracement, continuation, and right now you're calling up. I think you've got a retracement to this 10 at least, okay, that's coming, and that is 20689. Now that's tradable. You know, like I said to you, I've been building long positions on this horizontal, on this ascending level support, consistently moving the stops up. But right now, you know, from here you could be looking at a beautiful little 3-4% trade with a stop loss on this low that you've put in, okay? And obviously if you get negated and lose that, you're getting stopped out, and then you're looking at another impulsive push to the downside. And then all you got to do is come onto your charts, drop the fib on the top to the bottom, and you can see that the 1618 is all the way down there at 18920. That would have to be the last level of support that, you know, if it was to continue and you get the volatility break, you know, compression leads to expansion, and we have one more sort of push down here. This level here, the 1618, would have to hold as support, because you can see if it doesn't, you're sweeping that low, and that's a really bearish statement from Bitcoin. Okay, so like I said to you so many times, this could potentially be impulsive, and this could actually be corrective, and then you're looking at another impulsive push. So if it is that scenario, and this is actually the bottom right now, okay, and you're broken out and you're coming back for support, if it is impulsive, it's the third wave, and it's going to be a very, very powerful wave, and it could be one that brings you all the way up to this green line, okay, which is this low here. Now, if you start to see Bitcoin breaking and taking that out, which is a key level resistance, it usually is within the third wave. So, you know, we've got everything setting up in the charts here for a massive impulsive push for Bitcoin. And, you know, if you start to see all that, then it's going to be confirmation of the bottom being in, isn't it? You know, and this is what we're looking for. You know, the structure down here, the impulsive breaks, the retracements to the key support, which you're holding lows. If you start to see that carving out, that's superb, and that's a bullish, you know, statement right there, and we'll be able to ride all the waves up, and I'll show you exactly where you're going to on the next impulsive move to the upside, because all you do is come to the charts and you drop your fibs on. From there all the way up, you're looking at 145k Bitcoin on the next 1618, and you'll be scratching your head saying it's talking at his bumhole, but you know, I would have been saying exactly the same down here if I was making videos for you guys, that you come into the 1618 from this low. Look at this, okay, and you wouldn't believe me. 1618, job done. So it's a possibility, you know, but you can see, I think that what we've got in these cycles, if we are looking at impulsive push to the upside, is diminished returns, and that kind of makes sense to me as well with Bitcoin. So I hope you understand that update. I try to be as thorough as I can, but just here we have got some price compression. You know, something's going to give here. You've got this ascending level support, you've got the 55 coming down, so you can see you've got some kind of volatility break that's coming here for Bitcoin, you know, and it's all tradable. You can do all this on Bybit or BitGet. The link is in each and every single video description. But what we've been doing right now, we've been moving our stops up, and we've been building longs up down here, and if it goes, very, very minimal risk trade for the potential retracement to the upside right here for Bitcoin. Okay, so I hope you understand that update. I try to be as thorough as I can. Take care everyone, back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.